This is Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Welcome to Midweek Politics. I'm David Pakman. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. If you're listening live, you can get it every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on midweekpolitics.com. Our phone line is also open. So if you're listening live, you want to call in anything that's on your mind, 413-586-1750. You know, I was up late last night. I was hoping, I wasn't really hoping, but I was assuming that if the first Chilean miner was not going to be rescued until late enough, I'd be able to just, go to sleep and turn the TV off before it started happening. But no, I think it was about 5 of 11 Eastern, and the first guy came up, and at that point I just ended up saying, well, I have to watch now. I think it was 5 of 11 when they said they were going to load him up. Probably more like 11:20 when he came up. Did you see any of this, Lewis?
No, I was not really watching any of the coverage.
It was pretty compelling, I have to say. I mean, the most amazing thing was that it was clearly really important to the Chilean government because they had a translator just translating what was being said among the rescue team, and also they had it was being shot from multiple angles with bird's eye view, and they had cameras of the family members, cameras showing the doctors as they were kind of brought into the tent. It was a whole production. This was produced by the government, so definitely it was of clear importance, I would say.
Right, but why so much coverage? Why such a big thing? Like, they're proud that is it an accomplishment getting them out in 70 days, roughly?
I think it is a big deal in the sense that in most other cases, they just would have died,
Right.
I don't know. I have a little bit of video here and audio from the coverage. Let's take a look.
And right now, they continue to watch the report here, the play-by-play being given. Go ahead. There's a cheer, Greta. There it is. There's the capsule. It's come up.
All right. Well, interesting. The only video I found quickly, the first thing that came up was from Fox News. So I'm not implying anything by playing the Fox News video. The one thing that I was thinking about was there's this one guy who is going to be one of the last to be rescued, and I think as we're going to air now, Lewis, he still hasn't been rescued. His name is Yoni Barrios, and he's in kind of he's literally stuck between a rock and a hard place because he has a wife and a mistress on the surface, and all of this came out apparently while he was down below during these 69 days. And if I was him, I'd be saying, hey, listen, I can wait. I'm in no rush. Let's get everybody up first,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, leave me down here.
That's what you'd be doing, no doubt.
Well, who knows?
I want to tell our audience there's a very easy way to support the show. We're actually in the final running to present at the Free Press Media Reform Conference coming up in a few months. And if you could log on to midweekpolitics.com, you'll see very, very clearly on the top right of the page a little link. It says NCMR. You can vote for our presentation, and it would just be great. Right now we have a solid number of votes, but we've still got a couple weeks left. So log on to midweekpolitics.com, vote for us in the Free Press Media Reform Conference proposal list, and you can also get the newsletter or become a member while you're there. Whatever else you want to do. It's all possible on the website, Lewis, and I know you spend a lot of time on there.
I'm on there like 3 hours a day at least.
The 2010 election, I was talking with a couple people last week, and some were saying, you know what, no matter who gets elected, whether it's Christine O'Donnell or Carl Palladino or Nazi reenactment candidate Ayat, all of which we'll get to, nothing's really going to change. It's going to be a little bit of a shift towards the Republicans. And nothing will change. Nothing good will come of the election. There is no potential for any significant positive change, no matter who wins or loses in this election. What do you think, Lewis? Do you think really, if a few teabaggers win, will things change? If the Democrats hold off the Republicans, will anything really change in any significant way?
Not that I can predict.
You don't think so? You don't think it matters who gets elected?
Not too much. But of course, if you consider the long term, I guess it could mean something.
I started thinking about it, and at first I was convinced pretty easily. You know what? Nothing of major substance is going to happen in this election. But then I started saying, you know what? If you think things aren't going too well now, based on the choices that the people in office are making, there's people who want to get in that are going to make even worse choices. They're really coming in with a completely different philosophy. Christine O'Donnell. Carl Palladino, Sharon Engel. Does it matter or not? And I think it does. I think it does. Even if I've now taken the position, Lewis, and correct me if I'm out of line here, that even if we're not going to get complete 180-degree turnarounds with a couple of different candidates being elected or not being elected, it's still important not to just completely turn your back and say, even if the nuts get elected, I don't care, because I think it does make a difference. That's my position.
Well, first we have to assume that no nuts will get elected.
You don't think they will? Well, later on, we'll talk to Scott Keeter from the Pew Research Center and figure out, do any of these crazies actually have a chance to win?
Perhaps once a crazy wins, they serve one term, everyone realizes how crazy they really are.
That's what we thought with George Bush, got reelected.
But see, the war and the attack
You think
kind of...
that was valid?
I understand why he got elected again.
Okay, well, let's go through some of these. Midweek Politics is made possible in part by the Daily Hampshire Gazette and GazetteNet.com, connecting our communities with local news and information. By DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at DIFdesign.com. To find out more about underwriting Midweek Politics, visit midweekpolitics.com.